Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Have I got a video for you? Alright, let's jump right into it. I played another league and if you see the record, brutal, lost last round. But I've got some fantastic games for you. So let's start on match number 1. I was playing the newly tuned Breya list that Nate's been working on. Palace Jailer is some sweet tech. I very much enjoyed it. And it does get to showcase in these games. So you'll get to see Palace Jailer in action. Let's talk about graveyards. We don't need chat up. Alright. I just did this so that way it doesn't jump back and forth. Okay. Silent Trigger is my first opponent. I'm hoping none of these bug. Thalia. Alright. Mono white hate bears. I see a decent opening hand. A little bit slow. I have Fellwar Stone. If they get a turn 1 Thalia, I might be in a little bit of trouble, but if they do anything on turn 2 that's not Thalia, I can play Fellwar Stone and then Breya, and that doesn't interact with either of those things. So after Fellwar Stone comes down. So I can't interact with Breya, and then I can kill Thalia and try to take over the game from there. Isamaru, it's a 30 life format. I don't really mind a 2-2 on turn 1. Get a Disrupt, not very good. 2 mana, not a Thalia, and a Fensa Kintree Spirit. All right, so that's pretty. That can be a lot of damage. So I gotta keep in mind that that's there and be careful. Get a Spell Snare off the top, pretty spicy. I can't really afford to sit on it though because I am gonna be taking 4 a turn now. Even though it will counter the Thalia, I really want to get this Fellwar Stone down before Thalia enters play. I get a Badlands, and this was most likely a mistake. I should have gotten a blue source because I have so many blue spells in my hand, and the Tundra, this will only make white because of how my opponent's set up. It's a mono white deck. Alright, so in for 4. It does nothing with the mana, so I'm trying to think what this might be. So I'm going to Vindicate the Anafenza before he starts putting counters on anything. Pretty interesting misplay that I think my opponent makes here. So 3 mana. I think they were trying to bait the Breya play. They play Hushwing Gryff. And I think they're playing this now because they want to put a counter on it and grow it into a 3-power flyer. But Hushwing Gryff enters play, and Anafenza can't trigger. So they put a 2-1 into play for nothing. I don't have any interaction for that because it costs 3. Fine by me. And I have blue open, which is Spell Snare. I assume this is either going to name Breya or my Fellwar Stone, and I can't let either of those things happen, so I have to Spell Snare this. My opponent doesn't have a second land, or fourth land, second land for the turn, to be able to replay Thalia, thankfully, or play Thalia, thankfully. So I decided to sit on Deprive here and Expedition Map. I can also use Expedition Map if I so choose, and to throw with Breya if I want to. I'm going to Deprive Thalia, just get some tempo, because they've missed 2 land drops so far. So that Deprive countered for quite a bit if they don't draw mana, and decide now's the time to run out Breya, and I keep white blue open basically. I want to fade a white spell potentially, but I need to have this Disruptor Spell Pierce in case they go with something that I can stop. Fortunately, that's not one of them. Secluded Step. All right, there's their 4th land, so I know they top decked that this turn. 3 cards in hand. Get Vidalcan Shackles. Man, this is a hoser against any type of aggro deck like this, and I have protection for it. I'm feeling pretty good. So this is where I'm kind of wish this had fetched an island. Colors didn't matter that much. Slam the Shackles. My opponent scoops to it, knowing that the game is over. So I pushed Breya into this the previous turn, knowing that I won't get any 1/1s. Because I wanted to stem the bleeding from Isamaru, basically. I'd rather have a 2-1 attack me in the air than a 2-1 and a 2-2. And eventually Breya can sack herself plus the Fellwar Stone if I feel like I'm in commanding position. So Vidalcan Shackles ends the game. Alright. Nate said that there's a way to keep this open, but I don't know what it is. So into game 2, Barizzle. I win the die roll. Why is this so gigantic? There we go. Into Commanders. I love how Moto remembers all of my settings. Alright, so Baral. So I see a very keepable opening hand against Baral. I have Force of Will Deprive against something early and broken in the beginning. I have Vampiric Tutor. I have one of the best lands in the format. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not going to fetch yet. I don't really know what I want to go for Vampiric Tutor yet. I'm going to sort of play this draw-go game for a bit because I have the mana. My opponent suspends Ancestral Vision. That's what that was. So that's on 4. Alright. So I'm going to fetch here, and I'm going to vamp. And I'm fully expecting this vamp to get countered. So I decide if I want to fight about this, and I think I decide I do. Yeah, I'm going to fight the Swan Song. And I'm going to vamp. You want to take a guess at what I got. And Cavern of Souls. I want to make sure this Breya will resolve. I'm not even letting him see that I got Cavern yet. And I don't want to put Ancient Tomb in play. So I'm going to Imperial Seal this turn as well. And I'll let you think about that for a sec while my opponent plays Baral without a land drop. Fine by me. I get Notion Thief. I feel like Notion Thief's going to be good. I have the Cavern to make Notion Thief uncounterable. My opponent has this Ancestral Vision coming off suspend soon. So if they can't interact with this Notion Thief, I'm going to misdirect their Ancestral Vision back to me and immediately recoup all of this lost value. Force of Will was lost value, Vampiric Tutor and Imperial Seal were all lost value because they all cost me effectively 1 card to do what they were trying to do, and they either trade or don't replace themselves. Alright, so I'm going to slam Breya here, I believe. Yep, that's Breya mana. And I just want to get it down before my opponent has Counter Magic online. I know Ancestral Vision is not coming back yet. They're going to bounce a Thopter, which is interesting. I mean, I agree with it. It prevents me from using Breya, in their opinion. So I get Ancient Tomb, get to crash in. I think about it. I'm going to play Talisman. My opponent can stop it. They decide to stop it. I almost flash Notion Thief in, and if my opponent picked up on the read and was paying attention to their screen, they might have realized that I tapped human mana, and they might know what's in my hand. But I decide that I'm going to let this happen, because there's a chance that they didn't click always yes on this trigger. And if I push this in and they decide to not loot, I get nothing. Now, if they clicked always yes, they draw no cards and discard a card, and I'm in an insane board position. It's too much of a risk for me, though, on them clicking something. So I'd rather keep the mana up to be able to kill Baral. Baral in. Alright, I think I do decide to kill him here. Yeah, alright, so I kill Baral. And I'm doing this because I want my opponent to spend mana here. Because they only have 3, so they're going to factor Fiction. And this is all about keeping interaction off the table for Notion Thief. So False Summoning I don't care about because I have Cavern of Souls. All of my creatures are humans in the deck. But I have a feeling that they want mana here. So I'm going to split, I think, for a sec, and then realize that they're probably going for mana because they did it immediately, and they only had 3. So I'm feeling that they want this mana. I might be able to get all of these counters out of their hand. And sure enough, they take the 2 mana. Gemstone Cavern and Island in hand. Pick up Stubborn Denial, which is an absolute phenomenal top deck here. So I use the Ancient Tomb because I want to keep Stubborn Denial open. Human and blue. Come on, tap the mana. I play Notion Thief on my own. I really don't want to get unsubstantiated, some of the counters that don't counter type of effects. So I just put Notion Thief down right away. Now, granted, unsubstantiate will still affect Notion Thief, but I want to play around as much as I can. So here's the fantastic line. All right, so they go for Capsize, tapping out on Notion Thief, and I get to Stubborn Denial. Oh, tap the wrong lands. I get to Stubborn Denial their Capsize. Ancestral Vision. Watch, their clock's about to chunk down like a minute or so. Yep. There we go. 17:10 to 16:25. They were trying to figure out, because it says can be cast, if they didn't have to cast Ancestral Vision. No, it's a mandatory cast. You are required to cast the spell without paying its mana cost. He tries to target himself. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Couldn't ask for a better draw 3 as well. Get Mana Leak off the top, free Jeweled Amulet, Felwark Stone off the Ancient Tomb, and I get 3 power crashing in. They had spent their turn trying to Capsize. I'm in fantastic position here. I'm going to pinch their mana situation more, kill one of their lands, sit on the Mana Leak or charging the Amulet. I'm going to charge it up with some blue mana, get another counter in my hand, and now I'm just going to try to ride this Notion Thief. I'm going to put Breya down, but I just do still have counter available. Or Breya activation. Alright, that was a bug. I played Breya there, so imagine I have Breya in play. Yeah, attack my Notion Thief. I believe I countered one of his spells. Yeah, me saying that it was a mandatory cast. It's going to bug in a sec. Interesting. I don't think I drew Yawgmoth's Will. Yeah, there we go. Illegal target chosen. So, this Notion Thief continues to beat down basically the entire game. My opponent can't answer it. They play Jace, or they try to play Jace. I evasive action the Jace, and after that, my opponent scoops the game. I had Breya in play at this point, so I was beating for 6, and I put them 2-6 with Breya in play, attack from Notion Thief through the Thopters, and as soon as that was clear, that was in the next line, they decided to scoop. Into the third game. It's very interesting how I can't click on that. Waffulon, 17 minutes game. Alright. At least the chat's staying small. I win the die roll again. I got really lucky in this series of games. So my opponent is on Bruce, Tarl, Borish Herder, and Rayhan, Last of the Abzan. So non-blue. Alright. This is a pretty good non-blue hand. I'm going to keep... I think this was a great game, actually. So I'm going to Heath for the Tundra, make sure to keep getting blue mana because I have this Shackles. And Shackles is good against the aggro deck. This just in. I make a little bit of a misplay here because I get Mox Diamond, and I realize that Command Tower is better than Volcanic Island. And I play the Command Tower instead of the Volcanic Island because I'm going to play the Mox Diamond and pitch it. But it's alright. This lets me keep your mana open as well. So they're going to Bloom Tender, and I think about it for a sec. I could remand this, but I'd much rather just Shackles a Bloom Tender that will tap for 5 mana as soon as I put Breya in play. So I'm going to let Bloom Tender land. I'm going to use the map, get a Verdant Catacombs, because I want to get Underground Sea. This is one of the fetch lands that can only get Underground Sea if I'm going for islands. So I get this one instead of something like Scalding Tarn, which has other options. Get the Underground Sea, slam Shackles, and decide to let them activate Bloom Tender at first. So because it only produces 1 mana for them, I'm not terrified of anything at 4, and I'd rather be able to remand something if I need to, and then Shackles on my turn anyway. They go for Bloodbraid into a Mother of Ruins. Alright, that's fine by me. You could have both of them. And my opponent makes a huge misplay here. They attack with Bloodbraid Elf. And I assume it's just because of haste, but I get to kill Mother of Ruins because of this, which is absolutely fantastic. So this got them no value. It made me tap Shackles once for nothing. So I'm going to preordain. I see Vindicate on top. I'm going to put, is it Boiler Works? I think I put top, bottom. I think I might have bottomed Vindicate. So I'm going to take the Bloom Tender, and I think I bounce Command Tower here. No, I might bounce Underground Sea. Oh, no, I do bounce the Command Tower. Okay. And right now my plan is play Breya, use this to cast Armageddon, and win the game because this produces 5 mana while I have Breya in play. I need to try to make sure I deal with Bloodbraid Elf first. So I'm going to remand Bruce because it's just the tempo play, and I'm intending my opponent to not be able to cast Bruce again this game. I decide not to untap Shackles this just in. I get a scrub land. Here comes Breya. Make a bunch of mana. I think I might... Nope, I keep the Chancery. Yeah. I Armageddon, play the Command Tower, pass the turn. They got a Command Tower off the top. Pretty good for them. I got a land tax off the top. Even better. Bounce the Command Tower back. Keep myself at 1 land so I can trigger a land tax and start getting into the red zone. Remember, this Bloom Tender taps for 5 mana for me right now. Every color of mana. I'm going to take a draw 3. And I get Jace. I'm tempted to Jace bounce the Bloodbraid. I am also tempted to just play Jace and brainstorm these islands away. So I decided to do that. And then, of course, I misplay here, and I'm going to use Dak Vaden and +2, or +1 Dak Vaden, and pick those islands back up. I wanted them on top of my deck, unfortunately. I should have played Bloodstained Mire, fetched, and then used Dak Vaden, but I make this huge misplay. So I pitch Weather Wayfarer, don't need it. I have land tax going, and he's not blue, so I don't care about getting Cavern, and Scrubland, because I do want to get these islands back in the deck to turn Jace into real draw. I don't even play a land here because I want to guarantee that he's always going to be ahead of me. I already have so much mana, it's totally inconsequential for me. I'm going to get my last island, and my opponent, seeing that the writing is pretty much on the wall, decides to scoop even though they played Prowling Serpapord. Serpapord? I don't know. I'm butchering the name, I know. So under the pressure of Dak and Jace, they decide to scoop the game. And that's probably correct because this turn, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, I'm able to attack with Breya. Bloom Tender is green, white, blue, red. There's just not black, so it's 4 if Breya's not in play. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can attack with Breya, use Fellwar Stone Breya. If he blocks, I do nothing. Breya dies, this dies, and then replay Breya to get Thopters again. Brainstorm and Bloodstained the land away. So I'm in very good shape here. And my opponent seems to realize it and decides to scoop the game. All right, next game is one of my favorites from this league, absolutely, against Dawts. Now, Dawts is the player currently with 24 undefeated trophies. And I see that I'm paired against him in round 4, him or her in round 4, and I'm absolutely terrified that I'm going to be running against something that I'm not expecting in any way, that nobody's been expecting, and I'm going to get hosed for it. So let's jump into the game. Quick guess if you want. If you don't know what Dawts is playing, you can think about it for a sec. I'll give you a moment. All right. So Dawts is running Vial Smasher Crown. All right, so Grixis control, and is on the play. I see it's an alright opening hand, but I feel like Winter Orb might be my only way to win this game. I'm probably playing a better Winter Orb deck than my opponent is. So I really hope this gameplay doesn't bug. I see Disrupt on the top. I don't remember if I keep that or not. I think I do. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to play this draw-go game as long as we possibly can. I'm going to keep playing fetch lands. I don't think I fetch yet. I'm going to play the command tower. I want to keep trying to lead non-basics. I don't want to play a basic and let them know that that might be my last land. All right. I'm going to preordain, see Enlightened Tutor. I put Azorius Chancery on top. Vial Smasher. I'm going to force Vial Smasher, pitching the Disrupt that I didn't feel I was going to get use out of. I'm going to keep Spell Pierce in my hand because it's the better counter. I'm going to Enlighten Tutor for land tax to guarantee that I keep hitting land drops. I'm going to fetch out stuff. Command Tower for the land tax. He's going to remand it. I'm going to Spell Pierce the remand, put it down, and slam the orb on him. I got him to tap out. So Creeping Tar Pit up. I know I'm going to draw 3 lands here. So definitely wanted to slam the orb as soon as I had the opportunity to. So even though I'm not ahead in artifact mana, I'm ahead in the sense that I know I have guaranteed land drops for the next 3 turns. And I pick up a Windswept Heath, which is just fantastic. Alright, Jace. Ugh, brutal. Alright, so they have Jace. How do I fight Jace? How do I fight Jace, guys? I play my own card advantage engine, Breya. So, Red Blast Breya and Thopter bounce Jace. That's fine, he didn't draw a card. So he just spent a -1 on Jace on a token. That's okay with me. I get Mental Misstep, which is probably a very good counter to have here. Hit Jace down to 1, so that way if he bounces the Thopter, Jace dies. He can't let Jace die, so Jace goes up on me. That's fine. Because he keeps playing more lands than me, I can land tax just to shuffle the deck to disrupt any kind of Fate Sealing that my opponent's doing against me. I get to untap. I'm going to shuffle, get no value, and I decide now... Sorry, hit Jace. Oh, no, I don't do anything yet. Because my opponent was going to have Creeping Tar Pit mana this turn, basically. I want them to tap out. They go for Chandra. I'm going to negate Chandra. Untap land. So I'm really hoping to top deck land, and I do. Because I was out of the basics, I needed 1 land. I've made sure to have 2 white up, and my opponent cannot gain the Monarch rather quickly, even with this Creeping Tar Pit. So I'm going to put this Palace Jailer into play for no value of exiling, but I get a Monarch token. So I'm just drawing a card. My opponent can Brainstorm. They can bounce this if they want. Doesn't matter to me. I get Fact or Fiction. They're going to Brainstorm, meet my Monarch status. I'm going to get a Scroll Rack. I don't remember if I actually got a Scroll Rack off the top there. No, the Watery Grave was correct, I know. So I'm really hoping this gameplay doesn't bug out. Get a Delta. Play the Delta. And my opponent, I believe, is going to activate Creeping Tar Pit here. Oh, no, they're going to terminate Palace Jailer, hoping that I'm not. But they tap 2 mana for it. And that's fine by me. I got rid of their Jace. So they need to get Monarch to get card advantage from me now. And here comes Creeping Tar Pit. Yeah, they were able to do it this turn. Creeping Tar Pit in. All right. I'm going to fetch, and I'm dealt damage. They are now the Monarch. Land tax, I'm going to get the shuffle, get a Merchant Scroll. And right now I'm planning the if I get Breya into play, I can gain Monarch back. I get Gush, which is a fantastic draw here because it effectively untaps 2 lands for me. So I'm going to Gush, replay a land, and pitch Vidalcan Shackles because I don't think my opponent's ever going to give me the opportunity to Shackles their Creeping Tar Pit. And also, it's so mana intensive. So they Ponder, I Mental Misstep, they Flusterstorm. This is all fine by me because it's making them tap mana. And when they're tapping mana, they're not saving up for another spell. So they spent 3 mana for a Ponder, and they scoop. Dawts is defeated. You might have 24 undefeated leagues. They had 22 at the time of this game. But not against me, Dawts. Not against me. Winter Orb does work, and in the face, knowing that I'm going to take Monarch, and they are going to be so far behind, they scoop the game. And this coming turn, I most likely would have used Merchant Scroll or Mystical Tutor for something to try to lock up the game even more. Maybe Daze. Daze might have actually been the correct thing. Even though knowing that they have it, or letting them know that I have it, probably might still have been correct. If I could get Tectonic Edge in play, I can start dealing with all of this stuff, starting with Creeping Tar Pit. And then if they untap anything, I'm going to basic that's the land that I kill because I have this Crucible going as well. Definitely a fantastic game. I really enjoyed this one against Dawts. All right, let me jump into the last game. I know it's a loss, but I like showing you guys some of that. Let's see. Octave, 26-minute gameplay. I'm going to jump through it very quickly. Is playing Baral. I know I spoiled the surprise. All right. So I'm just going to set to play. I mulligan my first hand, see a Brainstorm hand. It's fine. All right. Get a Shackles. Shackles would be pretty good against Baral. They went with Vision on turn 1. They do nothing turn 2. I'm going to Brainstorm. Get a fetch land and a Mox Diamond. Fantastic. So I'm going to play the fetch away with one of them, play Mox, pitch the Plateau, 4 mana open. And I decide to try to push the Shackles here, and they're going to delay my Shackles. I make a mistake and forget to Spell Snare the delay. It kind of cost me this game, I think. All right, they go for an Impulse. That's fine. I'm going to try to save this for Baral. And this is my mistake. I'm saving this for Baral when I shouldn't be. I get a Yawgmoth Thrall with no value in the yard, or no real value in the yard, so it's not worth it yet. They factor Fiction. I give them Git Probe at plus mana or counters. They take the Git Probe mana. They get to Vision. I can do nothing about it. They Git Probe me. See the Treachery. Know it's coming. Won't play into it. Chrome Mox away. Blue Sun. So they don't see that mattering. And discard Emrakul to hand size. Fine by me. So Shackles comes off Suspend here, and they let it resolve, interestingly. I pick up Force of Will as my draw for turn, which is pretty useful. Merchant Scroll. I'm going to Spell Snare the Merchant Scroll. I do not want them to have a tutor in any sense. Treachery is currently Force of Will fodder, basically, because they're never going to let me get it, and it can't target Emrakul. They're going to Personal Tutor for Polymorph. So now I know that's coming, and I have to be able to be ready for it. Nagging Thoughts. I'm drawing pretty good counters, surprisingly. I got a land there, which was kind of what I needed. Scrolling Turn, I hate this heart. Got to play the originals, at least on these. I know I play a lot of non-original arts as well. They're going to Mystic Confluence, draw 3. I just have to let it go. I'm at 7, but I have this Chrome Mox that I can imprint something later. So I decide, I think I imprint Treachery here. Yeah, I do. Because it's the worst blue card in my hand. I'd rather have to decide between counters. They're going to Intuition, and they get Artifact Land, or Manland, and Emrakul. I give them Blink Moth. The other two shuffle back in with the Emrakul. I'm going to go for Weathered Wayfarer. They have to counter it because they can't let me have Weathered Wayfarer. They try to Animate, and they use Polymorph targeting their Blink Moth Nexus, and I think they forget that I have Shackles in play. Maybe they were hoping that I did this. So I get to Shackles their guy, and I get to put Bob into play. Unfortunately, they have Treachery. This is a great counter war here. So I'm going to try to lapse their Treachery. They leak that. And I'm going to leak their Treachery. They're going to force spike my leak. I'm going to force their Treachery. And they have Misdirection. Brutal. All right. So after that giant counter war over Bob, they get Bob, and they get to untap lands. I was trying to make sure that their lands were tapped down was the goal here. So that way I could play Weathered Wayfarer, put Breya into play, and really gain control. Top deck Ravages of War. That might be a way to win the game. They're going to remand Breya, discarding nothing. They get Bob. They got so lucky on Bob flips this game. I'm going to leave this open so way you can see it. They play Jace. I believe they Brainstorm. Yep. They get another fetch land, just so much mana. And at this point, they're getting into the realm of being able to hardcast Emrakul. I'm going to try to take Bob. They have to spend their repeal on my shackles. I'm going to leave this open so you can see how much damage they take off Bob. I'm going to try to put Breya back down. They dismiss Breya. I'm going to disrupt the dismiss just to cycle disrupt. I get Chancery off the top. All right, it's something. I know it's not really great having Breya countered, but I need to try to gain some traction, and I think this Yogg-Will might be my only way back into this game, or the Ravages. So they got Jace going though. They get Probe. Look at what they've hit off. They've taken 1 damage off Bob. I probably would have taken more. It's all right. So they Fate Seal Dark Slick Shores to the top of my deck. Unfortunately, I go for Yogg-Will, and I think they let it go here. I believe they do. Let's see. Yeah, they decide to let it go, and I'm hoping that I think I was hoping that they were going to counter. So I brainstorm. I'm going to put back 2 lands. I'm going to try to put Wayfarer down. They let me have Wayfarer. I'm going to cast Ravages of War. They daze. I Force of Will out of the graveyard, pitching my Impulse. And they tap a bunch of mana, try to push a Cyclonic Rift through. Unfortunately, that's going to happen. I get to replay a land, play Hallowed Fountain, get Mox Diamond into play, and play Izzet Signet. So I recover a little bit, but they have Jace and Chrome Mox, Bob, and Baral. And of course, Bob draws them land. So, brutal. They brainstorm. I get another bounce land, pretty good. I try to push Wayfarer. They disallow. I'm gonna play Boilerworks this turn as well. Pick up the Fountain. This is my only island as well, so I have to know that Shackles can't take Bob. It's gonna take the Baral. Pieces of the puzzle. They got close them. They got an island off Bob again. Emrakul back into the deck. Shuffle again. All right, Dark Slick Shores. I like that now. I'm going to try to put Shackles down when I don't have islands. They decide to just force it. They don't want Shackles being a factor this game. I decide, or they get Visions, 3 lands in a row, after Visions and a repeal. Is Vision still suspended at this point? Yeah, it's about to go off. So I push Breya out, and they remove Soul Breya. And this is where the writing is really truly on the wall. I'm at 7. I have to get something going almost immediately, but they're getting Vision this turn. They got another island off of Dark Confidant, and this is what I'm talking about with good luck up until this point. So I fetch, I get a daze, I go down to 1, knowing that my only option is to try to get blockers into play. They lapse Breya, I daze, they don't misclick, and I'm just going to let him kill me here. He's also down on time, so it wasn't like we're both in red zone. I played Chrome Mox, they do nothing. They fact, doesn't matter. I'm going to give them lands, non-lands. They take non-lands. They take 15 off Bob. And this is why I wanted to include the game. And crash into me for lethal. So, overwhelm. Just a couple flips from winning. It definitely was, unfortunately. But it was a good game. And I was sort of forced into the Ravages of War there. It's not really the situation where I wanted to be using that spell. But I don't think I had an option other than trying to go for it. So it might have been the Spell Snare on the delay, putting the Shackles into play on turn 4 or 3. But it could have also been the fight over Bob. I think it was the fight over Bob that ultimately loses me this game because it just drew them so much value. Like, if I had Bob in play during all of this, think how far ahead I would have been. First of all, Baral... they would have tried to Jace bounce. Jace wouldn't have been going up there, so they're not drawing cards, meaning they're not getting their lands. Baral's only hitting me for 1. If they're bouncing Bob, I don't take damage off it. I just replay it every turn. Definitely would have been a different game if I had won this treachery fight. But overall, my opponent played really well, and I got to congratulate them for that. Definitely enjoyed this league, and I opened some pretty sweet stuff out of the 4 treasure chests that I got, including a Doomsday. So I got a bunch more tickets, which is pretty exciting. I'm trying to build up enough to pick up a Wasteland and a Mox Opal, the next 2 pickups that I want to get for the MTGO collection. Working on them. If you liked my video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video to anyone you think might enjoy my type of content. You can find me on Reddit under the username Keepflyin. Same thing as on here. I also have a Twitter that is UntappedLandPass, and a Patreon. If you want to support the channel, throw a little bit in the hat. It's the same one. You can find both of those linked in the description of the video down below. And let me know in the comments down below what kinds of misplays you think I made, how I can improve the deck, if you have any suggestions. If I didn't point out the misplays, please don't all harp on the stuff that I point out on my own. I'm on the channel and on here hoping to try to get better myself, and maybe if you enjoy my videos, and you might be able to learn something from me, and I might be able to learn something from you guys. I always say that this channel is sort of a discussion about the format, and it's something that I enjoy doing overall. All right. I will see you all in the next one. Glad you enjoyed the content, and keep engaging with me, guys. I love reading all the comments. I really do read every single one, and I take all the comments to heart. All right. See you in the next one.